Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Rambletech. I'm here with my co-hosts, Lee. Oh, hey, they
Hey,
can see you waving this
we have a
time.
camera this time.
Jeff,
Wait, we're on camera? Where? I don't see anything.
and
You
we
don't
may
see the
have
one
guest
we hid.
spots from Trouble the Hound of War.
Woot woot.
Today's topic is going to be the opposite of one that we've previously done. Whereas before we said, these are the things that I like and I love, and these are my preferences. Today is least favorites. So we're going to start off with our least favorite mechs. I like to pick on Lee, so we're going to go with him because I got a feeling he's not prepared for this. What is your least favorite light mech, Lee?
Light mech. Oh, there's a bunch of them. I don't like the Locust. At least not for well. And I'm talking about the 1V, the medium laser 2 machine guns, and even that, it's got its role moving 812. But any of the 696 light mechs. So let me focus on one mech. The let's go with the Wasp. 696.
No, I like the Wasp, but let's hear your opinion.
But that's mine. It's, and I'm not talking about, that's the one with that has the 6 small laser variant. It's just whatever. The mech is blah. It's not fast enough at 696 when you only have enough armor to take a large laser before a torso or a leg falls off. They waste too much tonnage in the jump jets. They're much better to just run really fast and not even bother shooting at the mechs. Like a Locust has at least the ability to gun down infantry, so it's got somewhat something it can stand toe-to-toe with, and a Locust has decent armor. Wasps and Stingers are terrible for that, so I'd say the Wasp is my least favorite light mech.
Okay, counterpoint to that, the Wasp with a medium laser and an SRM2 goes 369 for its range, so you don't have to get so close so you can jump around. But, Jeff, what's your least favorite light?
I'm going to get crucified here, but Urban Mech.
Screw the Irby.
Yep.
It's a meme for a reason.
Don't believe the hype.
Into the corner with you, trash can.
Yep. It's the only thing that makes a Victor look good.
And I mean, at 2-3, it ain't getting out of the corner anytime soon.
No,
that is true.
Don't forget the
Yeah.
two. Don't forget the 2 jump jets. It does move 2.
Correct. It can actually jump across the water hex if it walks right up to it first.
Yep.
Because it doesn't have the movement to walk into it.
It's just a bad mech. I've never understood why people are so up on it, and I know people are up on it because the whole.
Because it looks like R2-D2.
Right? Yeah, but go take an imp then.
Though, let's be honest, it got hype because it is that bad of a mech.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's all about the meme.
Yeah, like the
This
guys
is
who put
horrible,
it in
therefore I
the-
love it.
Yeah, the only one that's actually kind of interesting is the one with the Arrow 4.
Yeah, 30 tons Arrow 4.
Yeah,
I don't have
like,
to move.
it is an Arrow 4 with legs. So yeah, I get you. You're totally right. Like that's a wacky mech, and people love it simply because it's so horrible.
Yes, people love it because it's so bad. Exactly. I just don't like it. Period.
Though if I ever do the campaign, I'll put a lance of urban mechs in an urban environment, and we'll see if they actually do something.
Nice plan.
I'll
Okay,
just take
so
that javelin with the medium lasers and
yeah,
the small
javelins are
lasers.
solid.
Yeah, just that one with the small lasers, right? Or the Wasp or whatever it is with the small lasers.
6 small lasers.
Yeah, 6 small lasers. I'll just jump behind them and shoot them in the back.
I think it has flip arms, does it not?
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
the weapon's mounted in the torso.
No, it's arm mounted. The Autocannon 10 is arm mounted, so is the small laser.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's the 20, I think, that goes into the torso.
Yeah,
that can't
it's the
go.
yeah. It's like the Arrow 4. Why the hell would you put an Autocannon 20 in that mech? I guess it's so that when you walk around the corner, it's like, oh, damn.
Because it just looks like a building when it's shut down,
Yeah.
so hidden units.
With already a big wound in it.
All right, so for myself, it's the Falcon. 696, 30 tons, medium laser, 2 small lasers, and 2 rear-mounted machine guns with the ammo in the center torso. It's just bad.
Yeah.
The only redeeming quality of it is a fluff, where its ejection pod is actually the whole head like the Wolfhound.
So in a campaign situation, it's worthwhile, but otherwise, yeah, no.
Yeah, it's interesting in a campaign scenario, but other than that, it's just garbage.
At that point, considering the fact the head is probably the best armored location, it'd be actually better to put the ammo in the head.
Yeah, if you get hit in the head with the ammo, well, it doesn't matter.
Listen, it's in the center torso, so it's about as protected as it's gonna get, right?
Yeah. But the center torso is the most commonly hit location on a mech.
Yeah, but still, you gotta go through its massive amounts of armor, and by massive I mean all of 14.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, on to you. Medium mech climb. What is your least favorite medium?
Ooh, medium mech. Oh man, there's actually a few that are really bad. Off the top of my head, oh man, yeah, I don't know. There's like some of the stealths are really bad. If actually some of the Vindicators are really bad when it comes to wanting it. They're like a medium mech that's meant to be like a heavy, but doesn't do anything good in that fact to start with. But yeah, I don't know. Probably Blackjack, actually. Blackjack is probably my least favorite medium.
Final answer?
Yeah, final answer. Blackjack.
And you're
Lee?
specific. You mean the Blackjack one? With the 2 out of 10
Or
too.
just the Blackjack as a whole? Or including the Omni-Mech Blackjack?
No. The Omni-Mech one actually gets some decent variants. Just this bog standard Blackjack, yeah, no.
I really like the Blackjack Omni with the 2 other M20s. When you don't have the tonnage for an archer, take the Blackjack Omni.
Yep. Yeah, the Blackjack, once again, the 2 out of 10 twos is a complete waste of time, but it does have 4 medium lasers, so that's not horrible. The biggest, like that's not bueno, though, really, compared to the other 45 tonners?
Yeah.
There's better.
There's another Blackjack that has 2 PPCs.
Yeah, and I think it's 10 double heat sinks.
When you can't afford a Warhammer, here's a Blackjack.
Hey, I got a crab that's doing it. Right? Same idea. Can't afford a Warhammer, use this crab.
So I don't agree with you on the Blackjack being ugly, or being bad, other than it's kind of ugly, and the traditional original variants were garbage.
I think I just don't like a mech that's 4.6 in a medium, right?
4.64.
Well, I know it's 4.64, but a medium should be going faster than 4.6, in my opinion.
Yeah, for the most part, I got one even worse than that.
Yeah, it's not fast enough to survive, so unless you can park it somewhere and use long-range firepower to keep it out of the fight, but participating, it's just going to die.
Yep. I got a medium mech that's worse than that, though.
What's that?
Go for it, Lee.
The Wyvern. It's an
Also
ugly
4.64.
Yep.
Ugly-ass
ugly
mini.
Heat sinks are brutal. Right? It has 10 single heat sinks, a large laser, an LRM-10, 2 mediums, 2 smalls, and an SRM-6.
And isn't the upgraded version still singles, but an ER large?
Yeah, like it's just heat, just brutal. You cannot use its weapons and move effectively at all. Right? You can't jump. Yeah, go ahead.
The 10N's not bad. The one that gives you the C3I.
Well, sure. If you take any of those mechs and upgrade it to the best technology, because they're trying to fix the mistakes of the past. I was thinking about it when you were talking about the Vindicator and all that. I'm like, yeah, and then when you start getting up to the ones with the stealth arm or the one with the plasma rifle, the stuff like that, it gets decent. But yeah, and then the Blackjack, you go to the Blackjacks with the double heat sinks and all of that. It starts getting better, though the one with the 2 large lasers and 4 streak 2s is kind of weird. And then you get to the Omni Blackjack, even better, right? So I think the worst mechs are going to be in the 30-25 range, especially in the medium range, because
Or 30-50.
Yeah, or 30-50, because there's some garbage ones there too.
When they're like, we have an extra range weapon, but we forgot to put double heat sinks on it.
Yeah,
you overheat by firing your main weapon.
Yep. And that's why I don't like the Wyvern is I've used it. I've always tried to like it because it seems like, oh, this thing's got quite a bit of firepower. It's got decent range. And then when you try to use that weaponry, the mech's overheating too early.
That's the problem with some of those mechs, right? Is that it's tried to cram too much weaponry into that platform for what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the 30-50, the Helm Memory Core type era mechs, my least favorite is the Sentinel. It looks like a soccer ball with a little gun stuck on the side. It's 40 tons. It goes 6'9" with no jump jets. It's an Ultra AC5, one of the garbagest weapons out there. A medium laser and an SRM2, and only 64% armor.
Streak 2 if you have the Ultra.
No, I looked it up before this.
I thought
It's
that
the
was the
Ultra
Autocannon
5.
5 one. Oh.
Yeah, the Autocannon 5 upgrades the SRM to a streak, but when they upgrade the AC5 to an Ultra, they keep the SRM as a standard.
Yeah, it's garbage mech. That's
No
really bad.
case.
Yeah, that actually makes an Assassin look good, and Assassin's a garbage mech too.
Assassins aren't that bad.
They're decent spotters. They just don't have any firepower.
Yeah, but that's the problem, though. They're not supposed to be spotters. They're supposed to be headhunters. That's how they describe them.
They
And
hunt
how-
wasps, okay,
Yay!
at twice the weight.
Yep.
With about the same firepower in some of the variants.
Okay, moving on to heavy category. For me, it's the Ostrock and the Ostall because I can never tell them apart. They have so many different variants that I never understand which variant is what weapon class. None of them seem to be well balanced, and it's just confusing to have them on the field or be described.
Horrible armor.
Yeah, and they all have flaws.
I think they almost all have heat issues. Doesn't matter what variant, like what era. They've all got heat issues.
Who wants to take it next? Jeff? Least favorite heavy?
You know, it's partially looks. The Yeoman.
Oh,
I have 3 boxes slapped together.
Yeah.
And 2 legs.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
better mechs that do the exact same thing that look better, at least, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I am a catapult that is uglier.
and Jacques made a good point about this. You know your mech is bad when they had to carve the crosshairs onto your windscreen. If you look at the Yeoman Mini,
Yeah.
it's got a crosshair carved right across the windscreen. Like, you know you've got a bad mech when... Like, what is it? Was it supposed to be a cheap man's catapult?
I'm not sure.
It mounts more weapons than the catapult.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
only 60 tons. It mounts more LRMs, but that's all it does.
Yeah,
It is literally box missile launchers on legs with a cockpit stuck between it.
Yeah, because it's 2 15s and 2 10s, I believe. With like 75% armor going 4-6.
Yeah, they would have been better to be like, here's 3 10s on each side, so 6 10s in total. So you can at least run the same ammo in all of the launchers.
Listen, man, it has arms with no launchers in it that flip. Okay, so
Yeah, because the launchers are all torso mounted, and it's
Yeah.
got flippy arms. So
It
when
does.
you fall down, it's harder to stand.
yeah, and the only reason why it has flip arms is because I don't actually know why it has.
Because the model doesn't actually have arms.
Yeah, true.
It's because they don't have any rules. It's optional rules to do the armless stuff. Where if you hit the arms, it misses.
Mhm.
So they had to put something in there.
All right, Lee.
Oh, I'll get a little bit of heat for this one because I know some people like this mech, and I have no idea what the Bombardier. I hate that piece of junk.
I was thinking about it because it's so close to an archer, but it's not.
Yeah, it's just not as good. It's got 2 LRM-20s with, what is it? 1
2
ton
smalls.
per- Yeah, 2 smalls, but it's got like, and I think the upgraded one has an anti-missile system. But it's like, it doesn't have enough ammo. Yeah, it moves 5.8, but who cares? Like, why are you running fast into the battle when your primary weapons are...
So you can
you're
run
supposed
away
to
real
do
quick when you're out of ammo.
Run out of ammo. It's just a garbage mech. I remember reading something about how it was like competitor to the Archer and in ways better, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's not even close. Competitor
it's got
to
a
the
better
Archer
top
is
speed.
Catapult. Yeah, and that's it. Right? I don't think
It's
it
got
has.
less susceptibility to ammo because the ammo runs out and then you don't have to worry about it getting hit.
You're
it's more survivable.
Well, listen, okay, right? When it has when you can only fire the LRM-20 6 times in total for each launcher, and that has case, but your SRM-4 ammo in the arm has no case, or the anti-missile system that they put the ammo in the center torso also has no case. What's the point of putting case with the other ammo,
mech.
right? Yeah,
It's a garbage mech, and I have no idea why people love this thing.
I think it's because it goes 5.8, and if you actually do some modifications on it, it's decent.
But then you have to mod it. But you can do that with
Yeah.
every mech.
Well,
right,
that's just it, right?
You notice two of our mechs are Star League. The Sentinel
Yeah,
and
nope.
the Bombardier are both Star League.
Nobody said the Star League mechs were pinnacle.
Well, they were supposed to be.
That's the royal variants.
The royal variant of
Yeah,
the
but the
Sentinel is
Royal is only
garbage.
something that's come out more recently. They weren't around to begin with.
The Royal Sentinel is still garbage.
Oh yeah.
Right, and I think the Royal Bombardier's still garbage.
I don't think they have a royal variant for the Bombardier.
Yeah, I'm not positive. I'd have to check. I'm not.
No, the Royals are all like, this is garbage. Don't even think about it.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Waste
what
our
it is.
time.
Well, really, most of them are just.
We'll take an
we added
Archer,
the
thank you.
lasers. Yeah, they just double heatsink things. So.
All right, flip a coin. Take an assault mech.
I'll go first on this one. Assault mechs that I don't like. The Merlin. No, is it the Merlin that's the assault?
Merlin
80
60.
60. Sorry, the Spartan. Don't like that. Don't like the Spartan at
Because
all.
it's ugly or because of anything functional?
Ugly, underarmed. Once again, moves 5'8". It's kind of like the Excalibur that way. They dedicated so much tonnage to the engine, it loses any real benefit of being an assault mech. Okay, they're supposed to be walking walls of either armor or weapons, and this one does neither.
Valid. Jeff?
The Spartan is a pretty bad one to start with, but I don't know. I've just let's face it, the Victor is pretty bad, but you know.
Yeah, you've had a hate on for Victors forever, so that's a good pick.
It just tries to
not
do too many
forever.
different things at once.
It
doesn't
really
do
does.
anything
Yeah.
well. Unless you strictly put it as a city fighter, the Victor. Right?
And even
Like,
then, it doesn't have the armor to hold up. It pops out and it gets its ass kicked.
yeah, but the whole purpose is an ambush mech. You jump in behind, shoot the guy, and then jump away the next turn. Right? It works great against non-jumpers, but otherwise, it's no good. The Victor. I really thought you were going to go with the Charger, Jeff, but you know.
Too many people hate on the
I
Charger,
was,
but it's got too
yeah.
many good variants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
does.
there's a couple of decent variants for the Charger. Yeah, but yeah, the Victor, I don't really like any of the variants of the Victor. The Victor with a Gauss rifle is okay, but again, it's nothing special, right? It's not.
Doesn't do what it's designed for, right? It's
Yeah.
not good at what it's doing. One Gauss rifle on an assault mech is, if it's like 464, you're wasting a ton of tonnage on the jump jets. Because if
And
you're
the
jumping,
medium
you're not.
lasers in the SRM4.
Yeah, like you said, Brett, before about that, the Gauss rifle's okay because you got that reach out lancing weapon, but if you have to jump, you can't use it because it won't hit if you're at any kind of range. And
You're
once you
too
get in
unstable
close,
as a platform.
yeah, and if you try to not jump and be a firing platform, you don't have the armor.
I think the problem is that like they tried to keep it a standard engine on it while going 464.
Yep.
So it's very undergunned in my opinion.
The AC-20 going 585 with an XL and Endo might be okay, but that's not a version that's out there anywhere.
No. And so the thing is, right, is not only is it undergunned, but it sacrifices armor for that too. So it's still only, out of I think the Ghost Rifle variant out of a possible, like, what is it, 250 for an 80 tonner or 248 or something like that is the max it can have. It's still only like 80% or 70% armor.
Yeah, it's pretty harsh.
Yeah, Gary ran one last year and he spec'd out of it as soon as he could because he realized it can't do any one role and it's not survivable enough to do multiple like you need some of these things to do.
The only problem is then we have to talk about the fact that our last year's league champion had one, and he did pretty good work with that damn thing.
Yeah, he also got kind of lucky with it sometimes.
Well, luck, dice, right?
Yeah.
But it got a lot of kills.
One of the variants of the Victor that's not bad is the Lao variant with the stealth armor. It still has the Gauss rifle, but I think it's the Gauss rifle with like 3 Meads and an SRM6.
And at that point in time, your lack of armor doesn't matter as much because you're hard to hit.
It's full armor. It's 100% armor, I believe.
Oh, wow.
In fact, I can just look it up. Yeah, it's 100% armor.
What does it give up to get that armor? Go to the
XL engine probably?
No, it's still a standard engine.
So where does it come up?
Does it drop to 3.5?
It has 10 double heat sinks is the issue, right? So technically you can fire the 3 ERs and the Gauss rifle and jump and you're okay.
As long as your stealth armor isn't on. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as your stealth armor isn't on, right? So your stealth armor on until you run out of Gauss ammo, I suppose. And although
and then
you have
ERs in streak time.
Yeah, but you have 10 tons or 3 tons of Gauss ammo, so you're gonna be sitting there for a while.
Yeah. But it's good for campaign play where you can't go back to get ammo.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, how about you, Brett?
All right. So mine, it goes 3-5. It has 2 LRM-20s and 2 large pulse and 2 medium pulse. Center torso ammo, no case, and is ugly as a trash can. It is the Grand Crusader.
Oh, that piece of garbage. That's a really good point. That's a bad mech. Yeah.
Like, if I want something with 2 LRM-20s, I'm going to go in the heavy class and take like an archer or a catapult.
Or a longbow or a stalker.
Or a stalker.
If I want something that's in the assault category that has firepower, I'm going to go with a longbow or a stalker or a salamander or a Viking. Things that actually look good and I don't feel embarrassed to put on the table.
Well, we're going purely by look. There's a lot of mechs out there that I wouldn't want to field.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of mechs. Yeah.
I'm a snobbish. The aesthetic of the mech plays a big part of whether it's garbage or not.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered mechs.
We didn't even have an argument for that. It was just Grand Crusader is just garbage, and we just stopped right there. We're like, yeah, no, you're right. Tab.
I'm waiting for the comment from Bruce because Bruce loves them.
Really? I see. My problem with that is it's only got 20 heat sinks. So you fire the 2 large pulse lasers, you can't move without creating.
Well,
heat.
okay, so you fire the 2 LRM-20s at long range stuff. When things get closer, you fire the 2 large pulse. And if you're really bad off and things get right in your face, you fire the 2 medium pulse as well. And you just boost the heat.
Or fire 1 large pulse and 2 medium pulse. But either way, that's way undergunned for an assault mech. And heat-wise, it's really not worth the large pulse lasers. You're better off with 2 large lasers.
I don't necessarily mind the large pulse for self-defense.
You know what else is a bad
you can
variant?
defend.
One that we might have overlooked also that's kind of a bad variant is the Colossus.
I'm not even familiar with it.
Yeah, that mech, isn't that a super heavy?
No, it's a 95 tonner, I believe.
All right.
Yeah, 95 tonner. It is armed with 2 large pulse, 2 medium pulse, an AC-20, going 353 with 6 coolant pods.
Wow.
So yeah, Alpha Strike hit a coolant pod. Alpha Strike hit a coolant pod.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
For 6 turns, and then you just have to. Yeah.
By then you're dead or whatever your fighting is.
Yeah. You hope.
Yeah. 353, and you said 2 large pulse lasers and an autocannon 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're charge and moving 353. So you're running as fast as you can, trying to get to 10 hexes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're gonna take a poop kicking on the way in.
Which is funny because that's like the base variant is like that. But one of the other variants is pretty decent. 2 PPCs with the capacitors, a Gauss rifle, and 2 ER Meads, still doing 353, standard engine, and it also has coolant pods though, because it can't fire the PPCs with the capacitors.
Yep.
So that's why we overlooked it, is because it's a later variant mech and we're just not familiar.
No, it's a 3053 for the original one.
Really?
Yeah.
Why isn't it in the 3058 book? 3055 or 3058 tech manual.
The 5S is 3067 production, and the P3 is 3053.
I found a bunch of different stuff that they released later and said the production dates is earlier.
Oh,
so like, we've got new books, so we're going to bring stuff out, and we're just going to put the original variants at this level, released at these dates, and then the other stuff came out at this time.
They retconned it. Okay.
Looking for content for later books, right? So people would buy them.
Sure. Okay. That works for me.
All right. Least favorite weapon. Jeff, go.
I have multiples, you know?
I'm a cop-out. Mine's actually a multiple as well.
Yeah, like one of them is...
I'm going to get the most hate.
Inner-sphere ER large.
Yeah, you hate gauze rifles. Yeah, thanks, League. Kate. Go ahead and defend it. Lee
yeah,
first,
you-
defend your stance on Gauss rifles.
Yep.
I don't like ER large lasers, intersphere ER large lasers. Them or actually, I don't also like. I think plasma rifles are dumb, in my opinion. I think all variants of plasma rifles are just stupid.
Concept-wise, just it was something that didn't necessarily need to be added.
Yeah, it seemed like it was just something that we need more tech to put out there, so let's make these things, right? It's like heavy.
That was my
lasers
initial
for,
opinion of them too.
yeah,
Now-
it's like heavy lasers for the clans and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the good thing about the plasma rifle, and the only argument I have on that is 10 damage, range of a large laser, ammunition that doesn't explode, so it's got those limitations, compared to the the plasma cannon that the clans have that just does heat.
Yeah, that's just a dumb. That's even
Right?
dumber.
That's a horrible weapon. At least the plasma rifle does damage, and it's relatively well balanced. Right? That's the other thing. That weapon is at least balanced. The ER large laser, and we've had this conversation many times off screen, with the fact that 1 is okay. Too many mechs put 2 on it with only 10 double heat sinks. So yeah, the ER large laser, I agree with, is a garbage gun. When massed up on a mech, rarely is it worth the heat.
Okay, and for me, it's variable damage weapons. Variable speed pulse lasers, the heavy gauze rifle, the snub nose PPC. I do not like or cannot stand things that do damage X at short range, damage Y at medium range, and damage Z at short or long range. Things that have different damages at different ranges are too easy to be like, oh, I rolled my numbers to hit at short range and I gave you the damage, or I rolled my numbers to hit at medium range and I gave you the damage of what the short range damage was. And we've been doing that for 3 turns and oh crap, now we got to figure out what it was and where they hit.
Yep, I got
Too
you.
much opportunity for just not even intentional, just negligent, incidental mistakes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Am I allowed to go on my high horse now about gauze rifles?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go right ahead.
Okay, so Hell Memory Core comes out. All of these weapons that upgrade them, the Ultra Autocannon 5, the LB10X, the large pulse laser, the ER large laser, the medium pulse, the small pulse, and they come up, and then this gauze rifle thing shows up, which is not an upgrade on any of the other weapons. It's a whole brand new weapon. Now I know I'm going to get heat about this because Bruce absolutely disagrees with me on this. There is only one bad thing about the gauze rifle, is that the gauze rifle itself explodes and it's big.
It takes lots of crits. It's big. It's heavy.
Yeah, but it's no heavy. Take a look at the 3050 book. Everything that had an autocannon 20, other than the Hunchback, they swap out for a gauze rifle, so it's not that heavy. Considering the fact you gain a ton back on the fact that 2 tons of gauze rifle gives you 16 shots, where an autocannon 20 you need 3 tons to get the same thing. Right, and you're still short of 1 shot compared to a gauze rifle. You have a 22 hexes, so it outranges everything in the 30-25 weapons list. It's a head capper, and it does 1 heat. Everything about the gauze rifle is, in my opinion, min-max overcompensation. That's my problem with the weapon. It is way too powerful for what it does. I personally think they should have gone with and I know you guys hate this weapon, the light gauze rifle should have been the gauze rifle. The gauze rifle should have been the upgrade, like the heavy gauze rifle, and the heavy gauze rifle should have been a clan weapon, like instead of the Hag. Now, I'm not saying it should work the same way that the heavy gauze rifle works now, but that should have been a clan weapon and done like the improved heavy gauze rifle that does 20 points of damage all the way out. That's my opinion on it. I think the gauze rifle is broken for when it came out, and remains broken, because look at what everybody tries to do. You want to make a min-maxed mech, it's got a gauze rifle.
No. If I want to make a min-max mech, I'll just put clan large pulses on it.
Anybody can win with my mech. You're absolutely right. But when it comes right down to it, if you want to make a mech that everybody's afraid of, it's got a bunch of gauze rifles.
So yeah, gauze rifle has been and always probably will be my favorite weapon. So I'm on the opposite side of you, but I can see your points. AC-20 gauze rifle, roughly about the same weight. If the gauze rifle had 5 shots per ton of ammo instead of 8 shots, in a line with the AC-20, you'd probably have less argument there, because then it's still restricted ammo of about the same class.
Yep.
The AC-20 is short range, whereas the Gauss rifle would be the long range variant. Because it is long range, it is 5 points less damage, and it explodes, which offsets the fact that it doesn't generate heat.
Yeah, and the other thing about the fact that it explodes, if you're using a Gauss rifle mech properly, your opponent shouldn't be anywhere near you. Right? You have a short medium range of 15 hexes. Now they can charge you, of course, just like what you got to do, but with a minimum range of 2, really doesn't matter until they're standing on your toes.
Yeah, but it's a high priority target, so you're going to be seeing long range back and forth as well as closing with it.
Because you're dealing with an OP weapon. That's why it's a high priority. It's not balanced.
Right? It also has a fairly decent BV on it.
Yeah, that's true. It does help with that, but it turns like even the Victor, when you guys say the Gauss rifle at least makes the Victor a little bit better, that's because it's got a head capping weapon that can reach out to 22 hexes. I just think it's broken. I don't think it's a horrible gun. To be honest, a horrible gun is the Intersphere Large Pulse Laser. Right. But I just think the Gauss rifle is overpowered.
3, 7, 10 range.
Yeah, just a weird range, right? Like,
and 9 points of damage.
Why not keep it 369 like all of the other short range kind of?
Yep.
Or
it's
even
still bad.
Even like 4-8 or 4-7-11, right?
Yeah, that's still better. Yeah. It's just queer, and the large pulse laser, like we were talking about earlier, the large pulse laser from 8, 9, and 10 hexes is a garbage gun. 7, at least you're firing it as if it was in short range, and when you're within 3, you're firing with that -2 bonus at that point. But it's not a good gun. And for the tonnage, you're better off with a PPC or a large laser, because at least with a large laser you get tonnage back, and with a ERPPC or a PPC, you're at least doing 10 damage. And
yet the majority of our mediums this season are all primarily large pulse laser mechs.
Yep, because they're trying to get in close.
Like, no, because there was no other variant that didn't have a large pulse.
That's true. Yeah, my Wraith has the large pulse because there's nothing else that I can have that has a C3I that moves 711.
Yeah, but nobody took the Wraith that had the ERPPC.
That's because it doesn't have a C3I in it, though, I don't believe.
Yeah, it's no C3I, and everybody else.
Yeah. The TR3 is the one with the C3I and that's why Alex and I both took it.
Yeah, because it was a C3 spotter that had fairly good movement that you could get it around at the beginning.
Yep.
Okay, moving on to next. Least favorite faction. Who wants to go first on this one? And Capellan Confederation's a cop-out. Do we want me to go first while you guys think about it?
Yeah, you go first. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, for me, it's Clan Sellout, Clan Diamond Shark. They were a second line kind of nobody clan that didn't really kind of pull their weight. All they're famous for is being merchants. And then in the later storyline, they just up and moved everything into the Innersphere and just started selling crap to everybody without any kind of real care. They have no loyalty to the clan philosophies. They have no earning of rites of passage or anything in the Innersphere because they took these worlds and set up a Keshik and this is our dominion now. They are literally just a bunch of jump ship and warships that they converted to be factories and fly around selling crap.
Why haven't the rest of the clans done a trial of, not absorption, annihilation with them? They've broken every clan rule.
Because they sell to the clans too, and that's where they get a bunch of their crap.
I know, but the clans should, especially the Crusader clans should not have put up with that.
And then that's where they get a bunch of their replacements from.
No,
Crusader clans go and do battle, lose a bunch of stuff, and then be like, Diamond Shark, give us a bunch of stuff, here's some other stuff, and then rebuild your stuff and sell it to us again when we need more replacements.
Oh, I get it. I know why they did, why the other clans would be not wanting to get rid of them. But when you think about the Crusaders, they're headstrong, like the Jade Falcons, right? We have to do it this way. We have to do it this way. We have to do it this way. And Ghost Bear with all of their honor, which is a Warden clan. And then you look at the Diamond Sharks doing what they did. Those two clans should get. I don't think so. You're toast.
You're not giving arms and equipment to our enemy.
Yeah, I don't care that you're selling to me. You can't give it to them. And they're acting like mercenaries. which is
I
another
think a
thing that
part of
clans
it is that
hate.
they're always mobile, so you'd have to spend
Hunt
so
them
much
down.
time and effort and resources to track them down. In one of the later things I was reading, Clan Wolf tried to, and because they are mobile, they're very space based, so they have high aerospace and warship. So the Clan Wolves engaged them, and they just flew out like aerospace fighters and annihilated them, and then flew off.
So Snow Ravens should have been sent after them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, no, I get it. It just seems weird that it wasn't just like, yeah, no, I don't think so, and then a trial of annihilation was declared.
Also, I think plot armor.
Oh yeah, well, I have a plot armor character. I think you're talking about. We're going to talk about later that probably going to get me hate as well. But yeah, no, I agree with
There's gonna be a lot of hate thrown at us for everything, right?
That's fine. I got to earn.
This is the
badmin.
podcasted pull shade.
Yeah. Hey, I got to earn my badmin title somewhere. Yeah, no, I actually
passionate about things, right?
Yeah, Diamond Shark. Yeah, I get it, and the fact that they should be Sea Fox. Yeah,
they were Sea Fox. They went to Diamond Shark. They went back to Sea Fox.
Yeah,
they can't even decide on their own name.
All right, I got one, but there's two reasons. Fluff is the biggest one. Free Rosalog Republic. What a waste of time, and St. Ives Compact for that. What a waste of bloody time. You separate from both the Lyran Commonwealth Alliance, I think at the time, and the Draconis combine. You create your own little fiefdom that is useless, and then within, 10 years, you're absorbed by the clans?
That's just bad timing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the concept of trying to build an independent nation and breaking away for the story arc.
Yeah, there were nations added for story arc, right? Like,
I get it. It's just
and really, like St. Ives would have continued, except they lost the support from the FedCom.
Which makes them a useless faction. Both of them are completely. That's why I don't like them. It's not because they've done anything wrong. It's just they're useless.
St. Ives lost Big Brother FedCom's protection, and therefore they got reabsorbed.
And Rosalog Republic just happened to be in the way.
Wrong place, wrong time. Oh, crap.
Like I was against Calvin today. Speed bump.
Don't you have to put up resistance to be a speed bump?
Oh, I put up resistance. I did. His Devastator definitely needed help getting off the field. Same thing with his Night Sky. But yeah, other than that, I did nothing. It was just kind of like, oh, all right. Well, thanks for a 4-0 game.
All right, I've had a clan faction. Lee has 2 Inner Sphere short-lived factions. Jeff, what are you throwing out there?
I have 2. One of them is Word of Blake when it comes to the jihad stuff. Word of Blake I thought was really good up until they decided to just do the jihad the way they did, right? I know they're going back and fleshing things out and trying to explain things better and fix the mistakes of some things. But at the time, it was just so poorly done and shoved down your throat type deal that Word of Blake went from being an interesting bad guy type deal outside the clans, because you had some of the clans that people were like, oh, they're like the good guy clans, right? Mm-hmm. And Word of Blake was your typical baddie type deal, right? It's
your fanatic faction.
Yes, your fanatic faction. And I think it just it got taken a little too far.
It was believable at the beginning as a fanatics and breaking away and stealing other stuff, and this is all of a sudden what we've got. But I'm totally with you where it's like, and all of a sudden they're one of the most powerful factions and they've eliminated everybody's ability to communicate and move throughout the stars, and this happened overnight? What?
Yeah, and nobody can stand up to them. Nobody. No single force can stand up to them.
Yeah, and it
came out of nowhere. And Comstar had no clue. No idea whatsoever that this was going to happen. Right. I understand that they WOB had infiltrated
Comstar's command and
different all levels. That kind of stuff. But you can't tell me nobody in Comstar had any clue that there were these armies, not even necessarily the faction, but these guys keep disappearing. Units disappear for 3 months because they've gone to some uncharted planet to go train. Nobody noticed over 100 and some years.
Yeah. The breadth of it was what was really made it unbelievable and really hard to swallow for me.
Yeah, and it was just go ahead. Sorry, it was your faction.
And here's the thing, also, right? Is you read all the fluff and everything from the Succession Wars and up. Look at Grey Death Legion, right? Grey Death Legion is accused of nuking a single habitat, and everybody's out for their blood. Like, they are persona non grata, like, in the entire inner sphere until the truth comes out. So you can't tell me that the Word of Blake can go about nuking people, chemical weapons, which are still considered bad for the most part, right? Like
compelling tricks.
Exactly. All this stuff that the rest of the inner sphere has signed the Ares Convention of, no, we're not going to do this because it's just going to take us back into the Dark Age again, which, lo and behold, it takes them back to the Dark Age again for the most part.
And the clans are in that too.
Yeah, and the clans are in that too, and everybody just stands on the sidelines for like sucking, like licking their wounds type deal. Like, I don't know. It seems so impossible on how they did it type deal that it's that. The second faction is Republic of the Sphere. I think the Republic of the Sphere was just, it's kind of like I don't know. To me, it seems just like a cop-out of, we need a brand new superpower that can conquer everything and do this and do that. And plot and fluff life to me just kind of seems almost like they needed a replacement for the FedCom before the clans showed up type deal.
Yeah, I saw it as the Star League 3.0.
Yeah.
Right? And Star League didn't work either time either because you can't get past human greed. Right? So, yeah, that's the Republic Sphere exactly. Like, really, and WoB and the Republic of the Sphere are almost hand in hand. Because the Republic of the Sphere does so many atrocities so similar to WoB. Right? They were doing cybernetic soldiers. They were using tech that WoB was using, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's horrible." The only thing they stopped using was the weapons of mass destruction. Right? So, yeah, I totally see that. Yeah, I agree. Republic of the Sphere is another one that is just like, ugh.
Like, if you ask me, one of these are factions I don't really like at the time. You know, like I said, Word of Blake before the jihad stuff, I thought was great. It was your fanatical bad guys type deal. I thought that worked perfectly. You know, there's
as Steven said, it's the bad guy faction that he gets to play that everybody else gets to hate on.
Yeah, exactly, right? It was like Smoke Jaguar for the clans when you're reading all the fluff, right? Smoke Jaguars are the epitome of the bad guys for and that's the thing.
The bullies.
Yes, exactly. That's the thing too, right? So Smoke Jaguars take out what is it? Take out Edo, right?
Yeah, on Turtle. Is it Turtle Bay on Edo?
Turtle Bay on Edo. Yeah, Turtle Bay on Edo. Yeah, they take it out by orbital bombardment, and this is one of the reasons why they are picked for annihilation when the Inner Sphere goes on the offensive.
And the Inner Sphere goes absolutely ape shit.
Yeah,
and joins together in the Star League and says, "No, you gotta go."
Yeah, like,
and
that's not acceptable forms of warfare.
Exactly.
Yeah, and WoBs are throwing nukes around, and nobody throws them back either. It's not like these factions don't have the weapons.
The technology's still there.
This technology exists, right? So they would nuke them back. Now, I understand with the communication blackout, the communication was hard to come by, but it wasn't non-existent. You can't tell me the Federated Suns didn't have their black boxes, their faxomatic going.
Yeah, the fax machine type deal, black box. Yeah.
And the other factions who've been, working awfully hard to catch up with the clans didn't come up with some form of courier system. WoB,
even if it's just jump ship courier, right?
Yeah. Command circuits, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way WoB took them all out. It's not possible. There's too many billions of people. And
you're telling me, that's just it, right? And it's the same as you're telling me the clans which had HPGs on their jump ships are also affected by all this, like, which were a totally different network for type deal to start with.
Yeah, there weren't Comstar agents on their jump ships and warships.
Yeah. Like, I understand they used a virus or something to infect the HPG network or that, but
okay, that lasts for a couple of months and then they've got it fixed. And then they're like, no, you guys have this. We're bringing everything and the truce is off because you can't deal with this shit.
Yeah. Why are 4 star systems completely dark? We can't communicate them. We haven't heard from them. every time we send somebody there, they don't come back, right? Like you
We sent an overwhelming force, and they saw nukes have been deployed.
Yeah.
Last time somebody did this that we knew about, we trail of annihilated them.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it was the reaction was not
appropriate for the level of the conflict.
Yeah, and also it's not even just what we would do; it's how they'd reacted to other events.
Yeah,
right. It wasn't consistent with the writing.
Yeah,
and that's what it was, though, right? It was a different company had come in.
Yeah,
and they were trying to push something new.
Well, the thing was, this stuff. The framework for this was written before the company took over.
True. Yes.
The problem was they didn't bother following the written, like it was supposed to be doled out in pieces, which is why they're now back retconning stuff, because they just went blah. Here's the main things that happened. Buy our clicky tech because it's the newest, coolest thing. When it didn't sell, they went, oh, well, this isn't working. Sold the company, and then the next company, Catalyst, I think, comes in and goes, oh, we had a lot of people that really want to know what the hell happened. So now we're going to start retconning this with the story arc that we already had in writing or in framework. So yeah, it was, and then it poorly implemented with the clicky stuff.
Yeah, and I'll be the first to admit that I'm biased against the Jihad era, the Dark Age era type deal, right? Because it was just like, Brett, how many campaigns had we played in and reading the fluff in the books from all that time that we had grown up on, right? For
everything was like back to back to back. We wrap one up and then we start a new one.
Yeah, exactly. And it was all in the clan invasion era or the fourth succession war
Civil War after.
Yeah, all that stuff. So you get invested in these factions and stuff like that, and mercenary units and certain characters, and then this happens, and some of the units are just like, yeah, they're dead. There's no other explanation of they're just dead.
They're just wiped out.
Yeah.
Yep. And that was them just going blah.
Yeah.
Without any of the work up towards that happening. Now units that you've idolized for 20, 30 years are just gone.
Yeah, it'd be slightly different if they released a novel of how this unit died, and here's the story of what happened and now it's gone, instead of here's just a list of everything that's gone.
Yeah, like for the example, right? So Wolf's Dragoons, right? Wolf's Dragoons is probably one of the more favorite mercenary units out there, with like Grey Death Legion and Calhounds and stuff like that, right? They're like probably the top 3 mercenary units that people know of are those ones, right? Wolf's Dragoons, Calhounds, Grey Death type deal.
Northwind Highlanders,
yeah, Northwind, exactly, right? Northwind, ELH, those are probably the top known when it comes to popular mercenary units. Mm-hmm. And you look at how they fleshed out the Wolf's Dragoons going down a little bit, right? Which they Waco's.
Yep.
With his insurrection on Outreach, which that's a good story. It's you're kind of going, how did this get past the Wolf's Dragoons intelligence service, right? Which is supposedly just as good as Comstars and like the clans when it comes to having their own intel unit. But it's still, at least it had a decent story of saying it's somebody that's hated this mercenary unit forever. And they have their own mercenary unit, and they're going to get all the dissatisfied mercs that they can get and launch like their own little Civil War type deal, right? So, and the story for that was good, but then all of a sudden it jumps into Word of Blake jumps in, they look at it, and they just nuke the planet, right?
Yeah.
You take a good story that has something that you're like, okay, I can find this plausible on how you can start killing off certain people and damaging the unit and bringing it down to like nothing type deal. And then it's just, no, it's, it still exists now, but we're having to retcon little things. But
what I think my biggest issue with the WoB thing is I think they would have made a great, I can't say this word on YouTube, fanatical unit. So they would do things like they'd show up on planet and maybe a dirty bomb would go off or stuff like that. But the fact they had full-fledged flotillas of warships and stuff like that, and weapons that nobody had seen before, that nobody had even heard of before, like the
And why didn't this come out when the clans showed up? Because they were still pro-human race and inner sphere at that point.
Until they got.
Where did this come from? Because it's been building for 20 or 80 or whatever years, and the clans invaded, and oh my god, we got to try and push back.
Yeah, you think?
We have this secret army that will just do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, right.
No, we're gonna wait until afterwards, and then we're gonna kill everybody.
Until we get snubbed on the second Star League. That's when we're going to get mad at the Inner Sphere, is when we get snubbed in the second Star League. Not when 13 clans show up, or how many showed up in the original group?
7.
This alien force shows up with advanced technology, and they say, we're taking Terra. We're coming for Terra.
We're coming for your home.
And Wob didn't go, wait, no. Okay, bring out the warships, guys. We got to show them that we're here to protect theater. Because if they had done that, they would have won the second Star League's seat. They'd come up and
they would have come out as the savior of all and been like, yeah, we don't even need this treaty. We're just going to push them right out, and they're going to run into a wall and not do anything because we have
to then do the trial on Tukid. They could have still done the trial on Tukid. It still could happen, but it could have been where Comstar is now the central point, like the savior of the Inner Sphere. They start up the second Star League, and then later on somehow it falls apart into a civil war type situation. Not the, like you were talking about, the implausible or improbable, oh, here's all this tech, here everything's shut down, you're all still fighting amongst each other, nobody talks to anybody, and we come in with these armies and kick the crap out of 5 great houses and 2 clans.
Yeah, if the Comstar and Word of Blake had split as a warring civil war faction with all of this stuff that was already pre-existing in there, and then it split, okay, then it's at least plausible, right? Then it's got story arc, it's got believability.
Yeah, and then they're doing fanatical raids on HPG stations, trying to disrupt stuff. Then they're not just walking on top of New Avalon or Tharkad and going, good luck, boom, 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 as everything lights up.
Yeah, right. It's like, so for Terra, one of the things I think is they have robotic warships, right?
Yep.
They have this, and
the Reagan system, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, so nobody in Comstar decided to say, hey, listen, we know about these ships. Because it's not a new technology. It's straight out of Star League.
Yep.
Right. That's from that time. And nobody in Comstar that stayed Comstar side and didn't go Word Blake is going, hey, they have this at Terra, right? Let's, maybe we should go in with a big fleet type deal, not just because, like Wolf's Dragoons jumped in with their fleet and got pounded. Because they landed on, was it the moon?
Mars,
Mars or something like that. Yeah, one of the two. But anyways, they still landed, but they lost like their entire fleet and lost everything there. And you're just going, do you guys not communicate? Like
flashlight signals.
Yeah, like nobody decided to tell anybody about this. And like you say, like is it the Mani Domini or whatever it is?
Yeah, the cybernetics.
Yeah. Like it's just like out of left field, right? Like it's like enhanced imaging from the clans, but on steroids, and then
it's brutal.
Given like
Inner Sphere pilots are good. Clanners are better. What's better than clanners? Clanners with cybernetics. Yeah. We'll call it Mani Domini because they dominate everything.
Yeah, it was, and I'm not trying to grognard stating that you can't advance and you can't move forward. It's more of just presentation and the way they put it out, right? I don't mind the advancement of technology. I don't mind the advancement of that. It's, if you want me to accept this, don't insult my intelligence, and secondly, don't tell me I'm wrong because I don't like your stuff. The way you presented it to me. I'm allowed to be a critic, right? You want me to spend my money, right? It's, you don't have to pander to me, but you also don't have to insult me. And that's what I think where a large portion of the blowback on people who don't like some of the things like the jihad and all that. You get you're just being a grognard and you won't advance with the times. No, I have no problem with advancing. I have a problem with insulting my intelligence and asking me to suspend my disbelief past a certain level.
I'm welcome to skip past this point to the next point. It's the story arc and the theory behind it that I don't like. The presentation, the rollout.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to segue into the next part there for you, Brett.
Yeah, we're pretty much near the end. There's only one other thing that I had on the list of things to talk about, and we've been going for a while. Least favorite Battletech fictional character. And Lee, I'm pretty sure you knew this one was coming because I think you're actually prepped and ready for it.
Yes, I am.
And is it a Davian or a Steiner Davian?
It's Devlin Stone. That guy has plot armor thicker than a battleship. Like, I know the main characters have to have some form of plot armor because Morgan Kell goes out and he's got, Phantom Mech and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, okay, plot armor. Nobody can hit him. And then you get Morgan Davian who drinks a glass of brand or whiskey and falls over dead one jump away from the Smoke Jaguar homeworld. But Devlin Stone is a nobody, not in any other books, not described in any other way, shape, or form. He escapes with a group of nobodies from a WOB re-education group, jumps in some mechs, and his group is the most powerful force the Inner Sphere has. Why the WOB didn't just nuke him, I have no idea. But overall, his character, and then he becomes the leader of the Republic of the Sphere and screws that up. Like, he's such a terrible character. And introduced out of nowhere. There's no family line, there's no nothing.
All right, all solid points.
Bad.
Jeff, you got something?
I can't really comment past the Jihad and stuff because I haven't really read much of the fluff and stuff from like the newer books or the Dark Age. Like I know of Devlin Stone and the Republic of the Sphere, stuff like that, just from reading the odd bit of fluff and everything. But
passing conversation.
Yeah, passing conversation. But you know, oh man, I think
you
one
want
of the
to
ones
circle back? Yeah.
No, that's fine. I think one of the ones out of like if I'm going from Fourth Succession War up to the FedCom Civil War era, I kind of have to be like Katrina Steiner. She was just, it was so, she was like your typical bad, like just poorly written bad one guy, right? It was.
She's Cersei Lannister though.
Yeah, but without any of the flair.
She is that bad royal that everybody just wants to hate and
and nobody saw that person.
Yeah,
nobody saw it coming, right? Which
is funny because her entire attitude is like that. That was the thing, right? If you read the fluff and stuff on her, she like turns her nose up at everything and just she wants to be the one in charge. And
it was actually her later on that actually bothered me, that she becomes a bondsman for Jade Falcon or Jade Wolves or whatever it was, and Jade then Falcon, becomes somehow moves up out of bondsmanship into to become a clanner.
Yeah,
I don't think she was even qualified as a warrior.
No, I don't know how that ever happened, because the politics portion of it would have actually kept her out of it, because they'd be like, yeah, no, your Inner Sphere mentality just doesn't work. We can't do this. Like, you can't do that. That's just not proper.
Yeah, but her and Vlad are two peas in a pod, right?
No, I get it, but the thing is Vlad followed rules. Like, he had very specific ways that he did things. And Katrina never followed any rules. She didn't give a shit. She didn't care. Yeah. Right? So I couldn't see how he made her a bondsman just to get, I think it was, didn't Victor do it to get rid of her? With the thought that and then just for the thought that she'd be enslaved forever, but somehow she not only gets out of bondage,
I think he did it.
A leader.
Yeah, I think he did it because he didn't want to kill his own family type deal, right?
Yeah, well, he didn't want to sink to her level.
Yeah, even though it would be better off with a bullet between her eyes in the back of an alley type deal, right?
Yeah, exactly, and I get it. Like, I understand that part. That part was actually pretty well written. It's the fact that she got out of it, like, turned the whole situation to her benefit, and I can't see how she could do that.
I think he wanted to use her for her access to the forces on the other side that she had influence over.
Yeah, maybe.
I can double my forces if I just manipulate this woman this way. Oh, she's actually the one manipulating me. Oh, that didn't work out so well. Oh, how did I not see this coming?
Yeah, to be honest, I stopped reading into it once she got traded off to the Jade Falcons, because I was like, yeah, that doesn't interest me. And then when I heard that she got out of it somehow, I was like, oh, that's even worse. I pretty much figured her story was ended when they led her off as a bondsman.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but like I say, from the Succession Wars to the FedCom Civil War, I don't think I really have any character that I absolutely despise, hate, think should not have existed type deal. Yeah, I don't know. I think they all had their place and they all fit in, and everybody has, like you said, Lee, everybody has plot armor, and some of them have a lot more than others. But I don't know. It just seems that the plot armor for some of the stuff then was a little bit more believable type deal. You know what I mean?
Yep,
I think that'll
agree.
play into mine. And I'm going to have to read some experts on mine because I'm just not as fluent with it and familiar. But Connell Ward.
Who?
When Connell became Galaxy Commander of Delta Galaxy of the Clan Wolf, he was known to enforce the unit's tradition of the ritual known as Blood Start for new warriors. Each warrior was made to bury the corpse of their first kill after its blood is ceremoniously painted across the brow of the warrior. During the clan invasion, he was at the helm of his Red Wolves Galaxy. He was also powerful political nemesis to Khan Ulrich Kerensky, allied himself with like-minded warriors who shared his Crusader beliefs, such as Vladimir Wolf. I think that's supposed to be Vladimir Ward. By February 3051, Connell had arranged himself as a candidate to replace Khan Ulrich, as he anticipated him becoming Ilkhan, to maneuver his Crusader beliefs into the different politicals. He got outsmarted, though, and ended up getting Lore Master, because he got a bunch of people to nominate him, and then he turned it down, being like, I'll just get Lore Master. And then when Ulrich gets promoted to Ilkhan, I will then get automatically put into Khan, and it'll be because of everybody else, so they'll think I'm the best. When instead, Ulrich went, no, I'm going to put Natasha in my spot to begin with, and then if I get upgraded to Ilkhan, then it's already filled. Haha, sucks to be you. I saw your plan coming.
Is he the one who ends up killing Ulrich?
I don't think so. I don't remember. But after the Battle of Takiad, Lore Master Connell illegally influenced a blood name contest and was caught. Had to resign, and then he became Salhama, and then he took his units into the Inner Sphere when the Jade Falcons did the Red Corsair bit to try and stir stuff up.
Yep.
With an unknown unit that they made into bandits to go about. His forces first arrived into the Inner Sphere to chase down the Corsairs, and then that didn't go so well because they were actually working in conjunction. They ended up landing on a planet and destroying all the Inner Sphere forces, being like, oh, they were in our landing zone. Sorry. Just trying to stir stuff up. Yep. And then it ended up being the Kellhounds and Khan Flan Ward going back after him to put him down, basically, at the end.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a pretty terrible character.
So he's a pretty terrible character, but he's got a story arc that you can follow throughout the years of before clan invasion, post-clan invasion. So he was a bad guy that you could be like, I don't like him, but he's a reoccurring villain.
Yeah. And you're not supposed to like him. Yeah.
And he mostly fails.
Yeah. Kerensky died. Ulrich Kerensky died on Wotan, yeah.
Yeah, didn't he take a whole bunch of missiles to the head or something like that?
Yeah, Jade Falcon, I think it was, ambushed him with...
Yeah, it was the Jade Falcon Khan, who used a fire support star to kill him when it was supposed to have been like a trial of some sort.
Yeah,
it was... Yeah, they used elementals, and they just missiled him to death from hiding.
All right, well.
Yeah, it's, typical Jade Falcon.
Yeah.
Brett's favorite faction.
Yep. Every faction has its black sheep.
You mean your entire faction?
All of them? Yeah.
The majority of the Falcons I like.
So you had two good ones, Johanna and what was
Aiden Pride, his daughter, Pride, and Marthy Pride.
Horse, wasn't it?
Horse was the freeborn warrior that was like his best buddy throughout everything.
Yeah.
Listen, so basically, that's Simcoe and what they came out with, then ran all the good parts of the clan.
Listen, we all can't kill somebody with a jump jet attack to the face, right?
While being prone,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
You can't do with the tech. When they added jump jet attacks, you can't.
It was after the book because it was written in the book, and they were like, I guess we got to come with some rule for this.
Yeah, but it doesn't figure out some way to kill Kerensky. It only does 6 points of damage with the 2 jump jets you can put in the leg.
Well, clearly the Black Widow had already taken damage to the head, okay?
But in the bright for the trial, she never gets hit in the head.
That you know of?
Well, they describe the damage they do to each other.
I know. Listen, her mech just only had 3 external and 3 internal, okay?
But then again, having them do 6 points each so you can actually just blow the head off would be a little overkill.
Yeah.
And why can't you lift both feet? Only one.
Why do you need both arms to prop and fire if it's coming into
Why
your
can't you
torso?
do a jump jet attack and do a spin kick and do a kick on the punch location chart?
And why can't a Marauder drop kick a Griffin? Or is it a Crusader in that picture? One of the old books.
Isn't it where the Marauder is kicking it in the face?
Yeah,
it's a drop kick.
Isn't it main event?
I think so.
It's one of the Free World League's books.
Yeah,
like novels.
Shows the Marauder. I think it's missing an arm or something like that, but it's drop kicking the might have been a Crusader.
Listen, everybody was experts at mech jitsu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
All right. So before we keep rambling along, this is probably going to be a relatively long episode. We've been at it for a bit. I'd like to thank everybody for staying with us. Lee, do you have any final things to say?
Yes. Like, subscribe. Please comment with something you like with the show, because all of those things get you put into our giveaway, which the breakdown for that will be at the end of the program.
If you like our podcast and you want to be involved in the draw, leave a comment about what you liked, what you didn't like, what you'd like to see more of. Just leaving a draw entry is kind of, it is what it is.
It's a draw entry, but it's not really helping. So, and please give suggestions. Yeah, exactly.
Final comments, thoughts, and concerns, Jeff?
No, they've heard enough of my rambling this evening about stuff I don't like or like, and yeah. Thanks for listening, folks.
This is going to be an awesome comment section. I'm looking forward to it.
There's been lots of trigger comments for people to go off on.
I can feel the hate flowing over me already, right?
Hey, and throw it at us, guys. We want to hear it. We want to
interaction is good interaction, whether it's good, bad, or otherwise.
Hey, like they say, bad press is still press.
Give us ideas. You want us to ramble? Let us know what your next topic you want us to ramble on is. With that, thank you everybody for tuning in for another wonderful episode of Rambletech. See you next time. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks to a very special member of the community who requested to remain nameless, we have some very exciting news. This community member has painted and donated a lance for us to give away as a random prize to our subscribers. Let me tell you, these mechs are even more beautiful in hand than these pictures are giving them justice. Painted in Free Worlds League purple, this League-compliant lance includes a Phoenix Hawk, a Rifleman, Warhammer, and an Atlas. Any new or current subscriber to the channel can comment on any of our videos with this spot in it to be entered into the draw. Now, because we are a growing little community with aspirations of grandeur, we will post the mechs to the winner in Western Canada at no cost. If someone in Eastern Canada or out of country wins the draw, we will be happy to cover the first $20 Canadian for shipping costs, but ask the winner to cover the balance. Of course, we'll get a price quote beforehand and we can discuss it with the winner if they want to get the lance shipped to them or pass it along to another subscriber instead. Please keep this in mind when entering the draw. To enter, all you need to do is like our video and comment below. We will do the draw when we hit 150 subscribers. Each video you like and comment on will get you an entry into the draw. Once again, thank you all very much, and we look forward to the next major milestone with you guys.